Oh wait, this guy, he's giving away flyers. I bet he's not going to offer me one.
No.
And he didn't because he's a racist. Oh, wait.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you very
What's
much.
it about?
It's about a family going through a crisis in 2008 in the recession.
Oh, whoa.
Kind of heavy.
Oh, my
So
God.
if you're able to inject some depression in your veins for about 75 minutes, and go ahead.
Yes, congratulations. It's a big
Thank you
deal.
very much. Check it out.
I will.
Okay, I was wrong. Whatever. Hello and welcome to the Secret Adventures of Black People. I'm your host, Nichole Hill. When I lived in Brooklyn, I was always here in Prospect Park. I'd walk up from my apartment on St. Mark's in Kingston. I'd take Eastern Parkway up here, and then I'd get to the entrance of the park and just like naturally exhale. It always felt like I could clear my head here and just like really think, and so that's what I'm back to do today about the show. I've made so many different versions of this episode over the last few months. I mean, there's basically three things that I need to... There's not three things. There's one thing. I said three because you're always supposed to say three. Basically, I need to decide if this episode that you're listening to right now is going to be the last one of the season or of the show. Which is kind of a lot, I know. And I mean... just to like set the stage a little bit, and I covered a lot of this in the dinner party episode, which was my reflection time from last season. But to sum it up for the new folks, also, hey, what's up? I made the show for me, really just for me, and I didn't think very many people would hear it. And then I released it, and then later that same day I got laid off, which was unrelated, but then I was very sad, and through a haze of tears and Prince songs, I decided to try to make a career out of podcasting, because, you know, why not? And then, like the character in all your favorite rom-coms, it worked out. It's honestly so cliche that I can't even trust it. I mean, podcasts that I've loved for years, I now work for. I talk to people who were me a year ago and have, you know, like a weird idea. They're not sure it's going to work, and then I help them make it work. I've even taught a couple courses. Like, I have students. That's wild to me. If I read the year I've had in somebody else's script, I would honestly just throw it away. It's so unrealistic that it's boring. Or I'd be like, okay, cool. Let's have this girl getting all these amazing opportunities during like a montage with happy music playing. And, you know, she's like high-fiving everybody, and then she loses it all. And that's kind of what I've been waiting for. I mean, I kind of just want to quit while I'm ahead. Can you understand that? I don't understand how any of this happened. And I don't want to mess it up, you know? And I'm not a sellout, in case you were thinking that. Almost every project I accept now is focused on either Black stories or like telling stories in ways that everybody isn't doing already. I mentioned that I'm focused on all these shows, which is true, but I do it because that's the kind of storyteller I want to be. That's the kind of storyteller I get to be, you know, for other people's podcasts. Which does make me miss doing it for my own show, I gotta say. But like, in addition to being worried about my luck running out, I am also a little bit tired, imagination-wise, sometimes. Over the past few months, I have absolutely, definitely, like inarguably hit a wall for new ideas. And I was talking to this one potential client, and they were saying that they like to pay their creatives extra because they don't want them to have to work on a bunch of different projects. They said creativity has its limits. And you know, I was thinking like, oh, sweetheart, I can be as creative as these bills need me to be. But then I thought about how a professional athlete doesn't play a bunch of sports. You know, even though I bet they could. They kind of just focus on the one which makes sense physically. And I wonder if the mind has similar limitations. And maybe I'm at the limit, or I could be on the verge of running out of ideas. I wouldn't know, right? Like, basically, I guess I'm just worried that I could mess it all up by trying to do too much. And the last thing I'll say is that there's like the business side of all this that I just cannot quite figure out. I've been in all these talks about the show and like business things, and it feels like dressing up a little baby, my little baby, and then taking it around to all these casting directors and being like, okay, dance for them now. And it just makes me a little sad. I know I'm being too precious about it, but it's because I love these stories. And I'm sensitive about the show, I guess. Because to be honest, I am low-key so proud of the way that these stories landed with people. I can't believe anyone listened. I can't believe anyone cared. I can't believe anyone, like, felt these stories, you know, and what people were going through. I'm just in awe. I know I could keep this thing going. I grew up in the 90s with so many big network TV shows about black people and a bunch of movies with black people. And these weren't about what it feels like to be black relative to what it feels like to be white. These were just stories about what black folks do when they all get together and go home or to work or to school or to fight crime or whatever. I loved those shows. They made me feel so normal. And I want to be a part of helping that happen in the podcast form. I guess I can do this, right? I could do it. Well, I guess technically I've already done it. I could keep doing it. My luck's not gonna run out. I mean, or I just ride this thing out until it does. Does something bad happen when your luck runs out, or is it just like you had your fun, now you gotta go home? I'll worry about that later. Right now, I'm just gonna focus on telling one story at a time, right? Yes, that sounds right. I like that. I'm gonna make a third season by focusing on finding just one more story to tell. And maybe that will lead to another, and that will lead to another. And then before I know it, I'm Nichole Hill, host and producer of The Secret Adventures of Black People. You can visit thesecretadventuresofblackpeople.com to learn more about the show and to stay in touch and stay up to date on what's to come with season 3, because there will be one. Thanks for working through all that with me. I will see you again soon for more stories about black folks holding it down across space and time.
But I have a party when I go back
I was just scared to be right here because it's close to the park.